Right now, you are treating your breakup like a problem that needs to be solved. You think if you find the exact right combination of words, the perfect paragraph, you can fix his mind and pull him back. But there's something that you actually need to know. That energy is the energy of a person who's trying to keep a wild bird from flying out of a cage. And here is the absolute holy shit moment no one else is going to tell you. The moment he opened that cage door and let himself fly away, you did not lose your power. You actually set a trap, and I'm about to explain. See, human psychology dictates that a man cannot miss a cage he feels locked inside of, but he can only miss the home he chose to live on his own. Now, is this video about birds? No, it's not, because I'm about to show you 3 exact steps that I like to call the caged bird rules that forces a man's brain to completely flip his entire perspective of the breakup by doing absolutely nothing. You're going to make him realize that he did not escape you. You actually quietly let him go. And that realization is terrifying to a man's ego. Some of what I'm about to say will go completely against your anxious instincts, but it's exactly how you win your leverage back. Now, before we step into step 1 of the caged bird rules that help you to get him back by doing absolutely nothing, I want to say something directly to you who is in active emotional pain. You're currently healing, but somehow deep down you feel like you want him back. At the end of this video, remember to check below in the comments. There is a pinned comment. You're going to find the entire blueprint that's going to help you to slowly reattract him back without begging. Now, let's break down step 1 of the caged bird rule: the reverse complacency effect. When a man breaks up with a woman, his brain builds something incredibly predictable. It builds an imaginary safety ledger. He tells himself, well, I'm leaving her, but she still loves me. If I ever change my mind in 3 weeks, 3 months, or 6 months, she's still always going to be there waiting for me. Now, this imaginary safety ledger gives him an artificial high. It allows him to feel the freedom of being single without experiencing the actual grief of losing you. He gets the reward without the risk. Now, the caged bird rule number 1 says that you must burn that imaginary safety ledger to the ground immediately. And you do it by doing absolutely nothing. When he texts you something casual like, hey, just checking in to see how you're doing, your instinct is to respond warmly, to show him that you're not mad, or to drop a small hint that you miss him. Now, when you do nothing, when you leave that message completely unread, or you reply 24 hours later with a simple, polite, 4-word answer with no emojis, his brain hits a massive wall of complacency. He's gonna be forced to realize that he didn't leave a safety net behind. He realizes that the bird cage door didn't just swing open for him to leave. It locked shut behind him. Because when a man notices that your emotional availability didn't just decrease, but vanished on autopilot, his ego panics. He goes from feeling comfortable to feeling exposed. And congratulations, because you have successfully introduced in his mind the first layer of reconsidering the breakup, and that is unpredictability. But we're not done yet. Let's talk about the second rule of the caged bird, because this is going to change everything. So far, if you're liking this video, go ahead and give it a like. The second caged bird rule is called the metaphorical shift, and I love to call it the extinction burst. See, when you throw a caged bird free, it enters a psychological phase behavioral scientists like to call extinction burst. When an old habit or a guaranteed source of validation is suddenly cut off, the human brain doesn't just calmly accept it. It panics and tries harder to get a reaction. So right now, because you're doing absolutely nothing, he's going to be forced to enter the extinction burst. He will start checking your Instagram stories more frequently. He might post specific songs on his profile. He might ask mutual friends about you. And the crazy thing is that most women see these tiny signs and they break. They're like, oh, he misses me, so let me reach out. Look, if you close the distance now, you ruin the metaphor. A bird that flies out of a cage and immediately gets chased down by its owner will just fly higher and further away. But a bird that flies out into the cold, look back and realizes the owner closed the door and walked back inside. That bird suddenly looks at the wilderness and realizes how lonely it is. So by maintaining your absolute stillness, you force him to confront the vacuum of the silence. And believe me, you're not playing games. You are allowing the natural consequences of his choice to hit him in the face. He chose a life without you, so let him experience exactly how cold and quiet and boring that life is. And this is going to take us to the third, which is the final rule of the caged bird: the reconstruction of attraction leverage. A man will never feel attraction to a woman that he feels like he owns, because attraction requires space. It requires mystery. It requires him looking across a room or across a screen and realizing that you are a completely separate entity with an internal world that he no longer has a password to. When you do absolutely nothing, you stop feeding his ego. You force his mind to do the heavy lifting. He has to reconstruct your value entirely from his memory. He remembers the way you laughed, the way you supported him, the texture of your presence, and because you aren't there, replacing those beautiful memories with desperate late-night paragraphs. His mind filters out the bad and amplifies the good. You transition from the ex who's crying over him to the woman who outgrew him. And that shift is the exact bridge that turns a casual ex into a desperate pursuer. He will reach out, not with a breadcrumb, but with a genuine attempt to see that the cage door can open just one more time. Now, if you do exactly what I just said in this video, there's absolutely no way you're going to lose in the end. If you still want to get him back the right way without begging, remember to check the link in the description under this video or the pinned comment. And if you are doing no contact, I can almost guarantee that there's a lot of things you're doing wrong. And this video here is going to teach you exactly the 5 things you have to avoid so that you do the no contact right. So go ahead and watch this next video. Remember to like this video if you haven't, and also subscribe because you don't want to miss my 2 videos every single week. I'll see you next time.